Not easy being the fastest quarterback you've never seen. I'll be right back. There's no quicker way to get into DFS. Play Super Draft today and see for yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are rolling with the tide, and we are saying roll tide to the heavens. Ladies and gentlemen, I am joined with Spencer. I'm joined with Waylon. Waylon, how are you doing today?
I'm wonderful.
Spencer, how are you doing today?
Rolling with the tide, brother.
And just before we get started, I just want to tell everybody, if you're watching us on Facebook, like us. If you're watching us on Twitter, follow us. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe, because every time you subscribe to the CTS, an angel gets his wings. And quite frankly, there's a lot of angels that don't have wings. So right now, you need to go ahead and subscribe right now. As you're watching this right now, you should be pushing that subscribe button. Just push it.
Please hit it. Just go ahead and hit it.
Just hit it.
And hit the notification with it.
Think about your ex-wife and just hit it.
Ring.
So today we got some news. But before we get to the news, we gotta start our show off with our little. Now, not our little. I see. Sometimes I think I talk.
Yeah, I think say.
That's like, oh shit. That's when military people and policemen come and kick my butt. It's like, oh, little dedication. No, ladies and gentlemen, it's rolling with tide. Dedication to our men and women in the armed services and first responders. Here we go.
It is my great honor tonight to dedicate this show to First Lieutenant Kayla Freeman. At the age of 26, serving with the Alabama National Guard, she became the first African-American female helicopter pilot in the history of Alabama National Guard. In 2018, she was deployed to Iraq. She flew over 250 combat flight hours, incident and accident free. May of 2019, Freeman was awarded the Air Medal. Freeman received her bachelor's degree in aerospace science engineering at Tuskegee University and a test engineer for the U.S. Army Redstone Center in Huntsville, Alabama. To this great veteran, trailblazer, and a great leader, I salute you. Over to you, Joey.
Well, that was a beautiful speech. Where'd you find her? You know her?
Well, actually, it was sent to me by request because right now we're very fortunate. We're getting a lot of requests in, and I keep asking anybody, if you have anybody special that's dear to you, that's touched you, family member, whatever, please contact me, contact CTS, and tell me their stories, send me pictures, and I'll put it on because this is what this is about. Our military and our first responders.
You know, that was a very impressive resume she had. What's she doing today?
To my knowledge, she's still a test pilot at Redstone Center in Huntsville.
Wow. Well, hey, you one hell of an American, young lady. But let's introduce our little guest.
There you go again. You're gonna make me break out
Waylon.
loud again.
Waylon, I know you. We said hello to you earlier, but how you doing today?
Hey, I'm still alive. One more day above ground, man. I'm doing good. Y'all are.
Well, before we get started with anything, there's a little announcement I want to mention. Ladies and gentlemen, Tuesday, we're not going to have 3rd and 3, but we are going to have a very special show. Clemson versus Alabama. That's right. Clemson Thomas return. He's going to be bringing Jordan Leggett, former tight end. I believe he's a tight end for the Clemson Tigers. And he played both the 2015 and 2017, 2015, 2016. I get my championships. 2016 national championship and the 2017 national championship game. And of course, Bo Scarborough was there too, but he played mostly in the 2017 national championship game. And that was the game that Bo actually broke his leg. So we're going to have that going on. It's going to be a great show. You, the fans, can sit there and ask the questions. You come on, you ask Bo, you ask Jordan what you want to know. What was you thinking backstage at the locker room? What was Nick saying? What was Dabo saying? What was the lead up to this big rivalry? Man, this rivalry has been going on for ages. It's not just been just recently. I remember in 2008, the opening game in Atlanta was first game for Julio Jones. We were playing against Clemson. We play Clemson all the time. We were playing Clemson back in the 60s, 70s, 80s. This has always been a rivalry. But for the first time ever, it's become a rivalry for championships. So check us out Tuesday. Bo Scarborough, Jordan Leggett. It's going to be a great show.
I love Bo.
So with that said, Waylon actually came to us with some Auburn news. So we wasn't going to do this today, but he heard some Auburn fans crying.
Turn this over to Auburn news.
Yeah. So Waylon, go ahead to talk about this Auburn news. What the hell?
We had Brian Harson's press conference there yesterday. Of course, he mentioned the 4 overtimes. That's what they had to work on. We had to get that, we've got to get that fire in us, play like that every game, to be able to compete in the Southeastern Conference. And, I don't really think the man done what he was claimed to have done. I think they just that game runs so deep. People just really don't understand how deep that Alabama-Auburn game runs. I mean, it just changes lives. That's what it does, really. That's they had the money to pay him to get another coach. They botched that. They made a mess out of it. You got guys in there that's worth billions of dollars. I mean, more than one, and $18 million to people like that is nothing. So, I mean, that's the Auburn news today. Brian Harsin has got to pick it up and be able to have that momentum like he had against Alabama, to be able to keep his job this year. If he don't, he'll be gone. I'll guarantee you. He'll be out.
Well, first of all, Spencer, what are you wearing?
My do-rag, man. My little do-rag. This is what I wear underneath my helmet.
Okay.
And these are my Alabama shades.
Well, you got to understand that, and this is not me being condescending or mean to Auburn fans. I'm not. It's the truth. The last 15 years, Alabama's been chasing national championships. Auburn's been trying to beat Alabama. It's like that little sister that wants to be like the big brother. It's like, I want to follow my big brother everywhere. Not your little brother, your little sister. And they want to tag along and come with you. You're like, just go somewhere else. No, You're not a part of this. You're not part of these championships that we're winning right now. Just go on. So for Auburn, beating Alabama is a national championship because that's all they got. That's all they ever had. They're not going to win national championships. They're not going to win. They could win SEC championships. But let's face it, conference championships don't mean nothing. Ask Oklahoma State. Ask LSU. Ask Alabama this year. I mean, it's conference championships just another way for NCAA football to go ahead and get your money. But, hey, they got my money. I'll watch it. Hey, it's fun to watch. It's football. However, Auburn, this is their way to celebrate their season is to beat Alabama. And quite frankly, they didn't get the job done. You almost did it. But you didn't get the job done. And as for trying to keep Brian Harsin, it's face the facts. They're still paying off Gene Chizik. They're still paying off Cam Newton. They can't afford to pay off Brian Harsin and go get a new coach, a good coach. You should have kept Gus Malzahn or Mazel, whatever his name is. Who cares? I don't care. Gus.
Close enough.
Kiss my ass. You should have kept him. It seems like after you win a national championship, you just get rid of these coaches. You know what Alabama does? You win a national championship, we reward the coach. We give him an extended contract. Dabo Swinney, he didn't come in at Clemson and just start winning national championships. He built a program. Kirby Smart didn't just come to Georgia and won a national championship. He built a program. You got to give these coaches time to build a program. And quite frankly, Auburn is impatient. They're like the DC comic movies. They're trying to be like Marvel, but you're trying to put some bullshit in there, and it's like, oh no, this is going to put this movie out. No, you can't. You're not Marvel. You're DC. So stop trying to be like Marvel, Auburn, and be like DC, because that's what you are. You're a second-rate football program. You're never going to add up to the historic legacy that Alabama is. Your fans suck. You suck. And that's today with Auburn news. Spencer, before I go, Spencer, you got anything to rebut?
Well, ain't no rebuttal. It's just the facts. Don't be coming here, this coach that does whatever, whenever he wants to, and say it's about the money of Alabama. They got as much money in their program as far as sponsors and backers as we do. They got plenty of money to pay their own way. I don't want to hear it. It's BS. And sorry, he can kiss my ass.
True that. Is Deion Sanders out of the hospital?
Yeah, I reckon so. He was.
Okay, good. That's
good.
Well, that's it for Auburn football news.
That's it, baby.
Then there's that.
So, Alabama, let's go to real news. Alabama football. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? For you season ticket holders, I got some good news for you guys. Just been reported by TuscaloosaNews.com. The offseason marks a turn for the Alabama football scheduling that represents a farewell to the neutral site opener, which means for the fans that got season tickets and you can't make your way to Dallas, to Atlanta, to North Dakota, you're finally going to get season opening games either at their, if they're playing Clemson, it's going to be in Clemson, or they're playing Penn State, it's going to be in Penn State, or it's going to be in Bryant-Denny Stadium where it should be. Fans are excited about this. A lot of fans are happy about it. We got some people Roll Tide and Rise Up is in the house. He says, Roll Tide. William Bryant, Roll Tide Rise Up wants to let you know Roll Tide. And same thing. Roll Tide. Roll Tide roll. Okay, here we go. So that's sweet. My nipples got hard when you talked about all those Roll Tides. So, guys, what do you think about is neutral games being in Atlanta, Dallas, all these? They're coming back to Bryant-Denny Stadium. What's your say?
Go ahead, Waylon.
Well, I mean, that's just they're gonna lose. That's all that's money, money, money. That's what it is. Bottom line, they want that money. Instead of going out to Dallas or going up to Lucas Oil Stadium or out to California, to the Mercedes-Benz Dome, the old Georgia Dome, wherever they play, a lot of times that revenue goes to there, and now the revenue comes to either they play at Alabama or they play at Clemson or they play at whoever plays who, Oklahoma or whoever wants to play whoever. That's where that revenue's coming to. So I think it boils down to nothing but money myself. I mean, of course, that's what makes the world turn. You got to have it. So, I mean, it don't bother me. Play them wherever you want to play them, just as long as they win.
Very good point, Waylon. I've got to agree with part of what you're saying. My only problem I have is the stadium money bringing in to the wherever they're playing when they have to split it with a visiting team more money than the TV contract is bringing when they play at another site, a neutral site. That's all my question is.
Well, do they let the numbers out? Do they? I mean, are
they not that I can find. Wish they could.
I mean, these little schools, people didn't understand why don't Alabama sign somebody besides Appalachian State or Alabama State or JSU? Because they couldn't, like Malmore always told them, they couldn't get anybody to fill those spots because they didn't want to play Alabama.
Right. Correct.
It wasn't because people, Alabama wants to take the easy road and play these little bitty football teams. That's not what it is. Those teams didn't want to play Alabama. And those little teams also make a big check for playing Alabama. So they're glad to come and do that. And, a lot of people still don't understand that, but that's what it boils down to. Once again, it's money. It's what it is.
It ain't just Alabama, though. It's all of us. We all had to schedule because people don't want to come in and play. So right. You had to pay to play, and it helps the little schools with their program. Not only helps their football program, but holds their whole athletic program getting these checks from us big SEC schools.
Yeah. That's it.
Before we move into basketball, I just want everybody to know right now you can catch the – oh, my goodness gracious. Sorry, wrong button. Let's do it like this. People on podcasts, what the hell is he doing? Right here, Tile 100, the Stingray Show, every Thursday at 9 p.m., 10 p.m. Central, Saturday at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central. You get to hear Heath Hawkins and Stingray on Tile 100.9. Catch it. It's the number one show right now on Tile 100. So with that said, there you go, two handsome faces. Two faces only females can love. With that said, let's bring them in. Our first guest to help us talk about some Alabama basketball, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Erwin Dudley.
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
How you doing?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Erwin, you mind if I take this over for a second? Because I don't think my man Joey did you justice. Let me start this all over. Joining us tonight, our honor and our great pleasure to have the great number 35, Erwin Dudley, the baddest power forward / center Alabama has ever had. Didn't take no shit and won't play no shit.
Hey, I appreciate that. Oh, yeah.
You just sucking up. You're just sucking up. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to also talk some Alabama basketball, but ladies and gentlemen, we also got a friend of the show. He, quite frankly, is one of the greatest receivers ever to play at Alabama football. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only number 11, Matt Caddell. Matt, how you doing today?
Doing well. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
All right, so first question, Mr. Dudley, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. How y'all doing?
That's my question. I'm just playing. Hang on. It's hard to direct this and try to host. So, hold on. Let me get this out of the way. So
I can't wait.
Tomorrow night,
I can't wait.
Tomorrow night, we got Notre Dame. Jaden Shackelford. He's been proven a very good player for the University of Alabama. Averages 16 points per game. I mean, do you think Notre Dame has a shot against Alabama?
Hey, from the way we've been playing over the last few weeks, yeah, they do. We're not as dominant as we have been, especially last year. Last year was a totally different year. We started off the year this year good, and then we kind of hit our bumps in the road, and we kind of slowed down, and we lost a heartbreaker to Vandy in the SEC tournament, which we should have won, and then we lost to Texas A&M as well, and we lost to LSU. So those are some heartbreaks that you don't want to see, or you don't want those things to happen to you coming down the stretch, especially when you going into a tournament like the NCAA tournament, because it's all about momentum, and right now our momentum is trending in the wrong way. So hopefully on tomorrow we can turn the tide, and we can start trending upwards and do what we got to do. But if we play the brand of Alabama basketball that we've grown to love over the last couple of years and take care of the basketball, there's no doubt that we can beat them. But I'm just hoping that that skid was a 3-game skid, and we're going our horse and we're playing the brand of basketball that we love to see.
Now, Matt, I know you follow all Alabama sports because let's face the fact, when it comes to sports, you're a legend. What do you see Alabama doing?
Erwin Dudley's a legend.
What do you see? What do you see Alabama doing in the tournament this year? Do you think they're going to go all the way, or do you think they're going to go, eliminate early, going to top 16? What do you, Sweet 16? What do you think Alabama? Do you think Alabama has a chance? Yes or no? That's basically my question.
Man, it's all on the guys. I mean, they come ready to play for 40 minutes, and like Erwin said, don't turn the ball over. I think just attack. I think we can compete with anybody, but I don't know. It seems like these guys are just missing that Herb Jones, John Petty type, just effort, like some type of pride you gotta have. Like, okay, we're not gonna lose this game.
That leadership.
That leadership. I don't know what it is. It seems like they're all playing. I don't want to say a little bit of entitlement, but it's like, I'm like, play the young guys, play Britton Johnson, give me somebody who gives the effort at least. But you didn't know how valuable, a Patty, a Alex Reese, a Herb Jones, how much they meant to this team until we got without them. So, I'm gonna stay positive though. I think Alabama, getting in the tournament, you would think the light would have went off the past couple games, but I think they can just change up some things, just attack. We don't have to take a million threes. You can make a bank shot, something off and twos are just as fine as threes. Sometimes. So, but I think we attack, get to the lane. Maybe take a page out of Scottie Pippen Jr. with the great acting job they did in the SEC tournament. They deserve an Oscar, all the fouls they got. But, I mean, I think that could help us. But I think if we just attack, be aggressive, like in the paint, like Bidiaco, don't move. I don't need you shooting any threes. Just stay down low and do some push-ups before the game and get some strength or something. I think we should be fine, but I'm quite sure Nate Oates and Petway and all them gonna have a good game plan. But they're gonna have to because Notre Dame's legit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got a question for you. One question. I just want to say that your bicep is looking awesome. You've been working out?
I'm surprised you didn't see my gut.
This ain't right.
By the way, and also you speak about Scottie Pippen Jr. Do you think he's better than Michael Jordan Jr.?
Probably. I don't remember Michael Jordan Jr.
It was Jeffrey, wasn't it?
It doesn't matter if Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, Scottie Pippen Jr. definitely. He's definitely better than. Yeah, he's definitely.
Scottie Pippen,
Central Florida. Yeah, he's definitely better. Scottie Pippen Jr.
I was being sarcastic, y'all. Because the joke, because Scottie Pippen came out and said he was a better basketball player than Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
If you have to explain the joke, rules to everybody. If you have to explain the joke, it's not funny.
No.
It didn't
No,
work.
you're good.
So everybody that attempts to be funny, if you have to go out there and explain the joke, it's not funny. Let's move on. Spencer, go ahead.
Well, basically, I'm going to follow up on what you just said. People forget that Michael Jordan's high school coach told him he would never be good enough to play basketball, period. And he become one of the greatest of all times.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's. I just want to clarify that real quick. But now I got a question for Erwin and Matt, if you don't mind. Matt, number 11, the legend receiver. I need your input on it. I know it's a basketball question, but both of them are team sports. So my question is going to follow up in that area. So, Erwin, to you.
Yep.
With Alabama's history in basketball this season, hot, cold, inconsistencies, I'm an old man. I'm 60 years old. What team sports I played, you're going to have one or two guys going to have a bad night.
Yes, sir.
It's going to happen, but somebody else picks it up. How come? How does it happen that the whole team does at the same time?
I mean, when you're playing a team sport, I mean, like they said, one bad apple can spoil an entire bunch, or one person can have an effect, and it can affect the rest of the team. And so, if you have one guy that the team is really following, and they really really following this guy, and they consider him their leader, and he's having a bad game, and he's continuing, say for example, he's continuing to force the issue on certain occasions or whatever it may be, that brings the rest of the guys, because it's taking possessions away from them. So they look at now, okay, well, he's forcing it, then you try to get my numbers up or whatever, you try to do better, versus going back to like when you have a legit team that really, when nobody really cares about who gets to shine, because at the end of the day, once you win, everybody's going to shine, no matter how good the team. Like a lot of the teams that we have coming through the University of Alabama, for example, if you win, you're gonna get more looks because you're on a winning team, versus if you were the player that was on that had 20 points and average 20 points and 8 rebounds, and you were on a losing squad. Because teams, they look at winners. They look at, how can I bring this guy how can I have this guy on my team and have his winning mentality on my team, versus, oh, this guy right here, he's averaging this amount of points, he's on a losing team or whatever. So on a losing squad, they maybe get one guy look. Well, if you on a team that's winning, they giving 3, 4, 5 guys a shot because of you winning. So when you win, that right there, it cancels out a whole lot of other stuff that goes on. A whole lot of other stuff. Now, when you're losing, everything is magnified.
That is true. Matt?
What was the question? I'm sorry, I was driving through.
Well, that's okay. The question was, basketball, like football, is a team sport. There's going to be nights that players are going to have a bad night, and then other players had to step up to play to fill that void. But with Alabama basketball this year, it's been like, it ain't been one or two players, it's been the whole team has been down one night or the greatest the next night. Can you kind of explain how that happens in team sports?
I guess if you don't have that whole team camaraderie, that maybe can happen. That's what I think maybe is probably happening this year some with our guys. But because, I don't know, it just seems like sometimes you just want them to have that dog in them and just go out there and, like, just have some pride and just go out there. If you just give us effort, I think Alabama fans not going to be too upset about the loss. But it's the way you lose. I mean, if we lose just turning the ball over, lack of effort, missing free throws, it's the, I think we got to have goes back to the team camaraderie to push each other. So if somebody does, you have an off night, somebody should be right there, to step them up, or, we can go to make this adjustment, or, things like that. So, I don't know. It's a lot. I don't know. So like Erwin said, especially when you're losing, a lot of things get magnified. But I think it can get corrected. I'm just hoping and praying these guys in this tournament. So
Yeah.
Next to it, Waylon, you want to bring in some football up in here?
Well, I was just thinking about the basketball. I don't know what happened from the Gonzaga win to now. I mean,
That's a big win.
it just fell off, just like I don't know. They just.
That can happen. During the course of a season, but if guys are not locked in on what they need to do, night in and night out, and then just going back to the whole thing about, really not having a real leader. Coach East come out and said it, over the course of the season. Looking for somebody that's going to, play defense and being able to kind of grab the guys up and like, look, come on, let's go. You don't really have that veteran leadership like you had before. So you have guys on the team that lead in other ways. But as far as, you having some guys on the team that can kind of grab the teammates, hey, look, and be that just driving force to kind of lead the team, whether it's defense, whether it's rebound, and whether it's, whether just being that vocal leader. You don't have it now, and so that's one of the things I think that we're missing the biggest of. And then there's the experience all in general. All those guys that left this past year. Those guys played in so many SEC games, and so it was like, they had been through everything. They had been through all the different battles, so they knew what to expect.
I agree with that totally, sir. Hey, Matt, got a question for you real quick. What are you expecting to come out of spring practice, or what are you looking to see come out of spring practice this year?
For me, I'm really excited about the offensive line. I want to see what this new offensive line coach, because I feel like that was the biggest issue last year. In certain games where, we could have saved Bryce having to take a lot of sacks. We just run the ball at will. It changes the complexion of a lot of games. So for me, I want to see how well the offensive line looks with the new coach. I think that would just cover up. And then obviously the secondary, I kind of want to see with all that talent, what the secondary is going to look like.
Yeah.
Erwin, what you looking forward to seeing?
Matt, you got a very nice back seat.
Do what?
That back seat is the bomb.
Look out, man. He's going to come steal your car now. Look out.
Uh-oh.
That thing's huge.
I agree with Matt on that. The offensive line, like you said, if I think a lack of communication with the offensive line was really bad this year. But that's one thing. But I'm also looking at to see the receivers, how they're gonna what they're gonna do. Because again, when Jameson went down and when Mechie went down, we really didn't have anybody else to kind of step in. And I understand, the magnitude of the game is totally different when you versus a regular season game or whatever, and you're trying to put them in a national championship game. It's totally different. But I want to see which one of those young receivers that we have. Now I know Brooks. I know he's gonna miss probably a day, but the other guys, I want to see which one of those guys are gonna step up and grab the bull by the horns and kind of be that alpha dog receiver that we've grown accustomed to love, because we got a lot of receiver spots to fill.
All right, real quick, I'm gonna follow up. Then I'm gonna shut up and have Waylon and Joey take this over. But I'm gonna get personal with you right quick, Erwin.
What's up?
What's your comment you just made? When our two best receivers went down, we brought the guys in and things didn't go as planned. Yep. In your personal opinion, do you think it was from the lack of play that they got throughout the year when coach could have brought them in to give them more time? Or do you think because they wasn't doing what they're supposed to do off the field, the reason they didn't get more time?
I think it's a combination of both. I mean, you can't. I mean, honestly, like, just think about over the course of the season, you really didn't have an opportunity to bring them in because we didn't run away with a lot of teams, so it was kind of hard for them to put them in the game. But even with that being said, I think that the magnitude of a national championship game, I think that's a lot for any player to be like, okay, you only played 10, 15, 20 snaps, you know what I'm saying, during the course of the year. And then here, we got you out there trying to make these big time catches. And don't get me wrong, you hear a lot of people saying, oh, we got 5-star. Yeah, they 5 stars, but it's a difference between a 5-star in high school versus a 5-star in college. And then
Well, we lost him.
different. I'm
back. He's back.
So I say that. So it's totally
Wait,
different.
hold on. Is the difference between a 5-star in high school and we lost you? Go ahead. Repeat.
So the difference between a 5-star in high school and a 5-star when you can put them in college and you playing against other season guys, because you still really, if you ain't got a lot of experience, you just a freshman, a rookie, whatever. Now some guys that they can step into that moment, but I don't know too many guys that really will step up in that moment, during a time like that.
I totally agree with that. You looking at a situation where you play, 20 snaps during the season in the fourth quarter while Alabama's blowing somebody out 48-0 against Utah State or somebody like that, and then all of a sudden you're in the big time now, the national championship game.
Yeah,
billions of people are watching, 100,000 people in the stadium, and the nerves are gonna kick in. And in this, you're looking at an 18-year-old kid. Yeah, this 18-year-old kid is got more talent in his little pinky than I ever had in my whole entire body. I give him that, but he's still 18 years old. Yeah. Matt, you can contest to this. Erwin, you can contest to this. I played high school sports. I could never imagine being in front of a crowd of 100,000 people and then looking around and say, "Oh, go make something happen." I'll be scared. I'll be scared as hell. Yeah. So that's a championship game. I'm not mad at these kids. I'm happy for Georgia to win, and I'm not mad about Alabama. I think this is probably one of the rocky stories of Alabama football. Because Waylon and I argue about this.
Hey, I'm not happy Georgia won. Hey, but Matt, I want to hear what you think about it.
Well, no, I'm just saying. No, I agree. I think that all the fans were beating up on Alabama. All the hardcore Alabama fans were beating up on Alabama, and they showed heart this season. I mean, look what we did to Auburn. Four overtimes. And I don't care if Auburn, even though they suck, and I piss on those trees every day I see them. I don't care. When you're playing Auburn, they're gonna bring their A game, and the fact that they beat them 4 times, they beat them 4 overtimes. I was proud of this football team, very proud, and I'm glad. I'm glad that I was a part to see this team succeed this season. That's what I think. Now all y'all just be quiet.
Well, I still ain't believing I heard what came out of your mouth. I still ain't believing it. Waylon, come on. Tell him about it. Come on now.
Well, I mean, I agree with the other guys. We offensive line has to improve. Of course, that's where it all starts on offense. This is the offensive line. And we've had a lot of success on offensive line. The years here we've had with Coach Saban, we've had some great offensive lines, maybe some of the best offensive lines in Alabama history. And your secondary, that's what worries me. The secondary seemed like ever since 2017, the secondary they're just out there chasing shadows sometimes. I mean, I know these guys are fast. I played with a fast team in high school. Speed will always win. Stop, cut on a dime, and regain your speed, where a lot of people can do that. It's everybody can't do that. It has speed. Most people, a lot of them can, but I don't know. The secondary's got to improve quite a bit. That's what worries me. Turn around, see if they can find the ball.
True.
Try to cut down on some of the pass interference calls. These referees, I know they get a little excited. There's going to be contact when you both go up after the ball, but, it's just improvement. And the wide receivers, I'm also interested in seeing the wide receiver crew. And also, we didn't mention the running back crew. Who is going to be our main running back this year now? Who's going to be fun? Who's going to be fun? Hope that if we have a good line, that we can get some yardage and go back to a little bit of maybe smash mouth Alabama football. It's never going to go back like it was. Yes, we know that. But there's going to be times where you can have it. And, the throwing game is winning. And, of course, the running game. But I'd like to see a little more running game sometimes too,
Maybe Matt Caddell, Trans Luke, and Tyrone Pothrow can make a comeback.
Yeah,
wide receiver spot.
No, I think that's what made Sark such a great play caller, because Sark knew how to manage both. Like, he knew how to maximize the play action in pass games, but he knew how to get the ball to Najee whenever he needed to. And I think because our offensive line wasn't the best. I mean, having a run game takes away. You can do so much more offensively. I mean, we were running play fakes, and they weren't even going for our play fakes because they knew we didn't have the offensive line like we should. So, I mean, but I think, like, when we have the new offensive line coach from Kentucky, I think that's going to help us tremendously to be smash mouth, where we can just hand the ball off. We get in the red zone, and we don't have to worry about having to throw the ball whenever we want to, if we have to. Because it felt like last year we were just throwing because that was like the only option we had at times. Yeah, so hopefully, next year will be a lot better.
Matt, so that's a no to your comeback?
No, if they want me to come back, I'm going to have to be a play caller or something.
I love to see that.
All right, so fellas, we're running out of time. You got Spencer Bailey. You got any more questions?
No, we just want to remember the 07 game I was at when you made that catch there.
Matt, for the 458,000th time.
Hey,
can you tell us about the Arkansas catch that we ask you every single time you come on the show?
Oh man, it was just a regular old catch, nothing too serious, No, but no, it was a great, moment, to be down, and we were playing against, Darren McFadden, who's one of the top running backs in SEC history.
That's true.
Those guys was just. I saw him just take over a game, for like 3 or 4 years. So, for us to come back and win and kind of get Coach Saban his first, big SEC home game, it was a lot. So I think, people started to see, okay, this Saban guy is going to turn the program around. And it showed the next year and the year after that. So I'm just excited for football season, and hopefully this basketball team can make a run, softball team can start handling their business, and gymnastics, and by the time football season comes around, we'll be ready to roll.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Hold on, whoa. Any special moments for Erwin? Nobody's going. By the time.
Oh, Erwin, the product of RC Hatch.
Yes, sir.
Product of RC Hatch. I used to hear about Erwin in high school. They would be like, man.
Ain't you from Uniontown?
Yeah.
You're from Uniontown. See, I do it. You're over there. Yeah. We heard about you back in the day. By the time I was getting out of high school, you was doing your thing. We heard you about
that's
all
big time basketball down there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Everybody knew about RC Erwin, man, legend. He was a beast at Bama, man. Those teams. Woo.
You was a power forward, wasn't you? 35.
Yeah, power forward. I played center mostly, but power forward and center.
Power forward center.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Erwin, ADG. You can teach Bediako how to be physical or something down there, man.
Hey man, look, I'm willing to get down there. I'm willing to get down there and bang one a little bit.
Go on, bang. I'm telling you, get in the weight room.
I know.
Hey.
I just got one more question. So, Erwin, you went to the NBA, am I correct?
No, I played overseas. I did 13 years overseas.
Didn't you play like Turkey?
Yep, Turkey. Yep, 12 out of my 13 years.
Okay, yeah. See, I don't watch a lot of college basketball, but what I do know, I know, especially when it comes to Alabama sports.
Yeah, Turkey is dual citizen.
He was a bad boy back in the day.
I appreciate it.
Just like every other basketball player from Alabama, I just want to choke my coach.
I'll never forget watching Erwin and them play, and like this was like we were still in high school, but we used to go to junior day. Man, Erwin, they were so low. I remember them watching them play. It was like
we got a squad.
It was high flying, like they had so much talent, man. It was just like, man, they did so much recruiting. They didn't know it was basketball, but good gracious, you like, man.
Did the football players ever go and check out the basketball players practice and stuff like that?
I never practice. I watched the games, but
I know we used to we never did. I mean, I know we used to. The only time I we'll see each other when we eating stuff like that in the training room or whatever. But other than just like if we went to the rec to play, some of the football players would be there and we play against them like that. But as far as just watching practice or anything, nah, none of that right now. And we'll see them in the weight room. We lift weights and stuff like that together.
So you ever dunked on Santonio Beard or
nah. I knew Santonio. Santonio's a really good guy. I knew Santonio. I was there. Santonio, Ahmad Galloway.
Yeah, Ahmad. That is the biggest clown ever met in my time. That man's a fool.
Yeah,
he was on the show. We had an old show, and he came on, and he had me crying laughing. I'm talking. I literally had tears coming down my sunglasses. He was a fool. Talking about him and Santonio was a Cadillac, and Ronnie Brown and Cadillac. They must be the Bentleys. I was like, all right, Talking about he's from San Diego. I was like, didn't you play on the practice squad? Yeah, but that's where I spent most of my career.
Yeah,
on the practice squad. You probably. But anyway, you have to know him. It's like telling a joke a secondhand joke.
There you go again.
Yeah, it's like telling a secondhand joke. It's like you say exactly what he says. It doesn't come out as funny.
It comes out as funny as
yeah. It's like what Eddie Murphy says. It's like, and then he said "goony goo goo." Nobody knows what the hell you're talking about. Anyway, you have to watch Delirious, old guys. If you never watched Eddie Murphy Delirious, you won't know what I'm talking about.
Guys,
anyway, ladies and gentlemen,
go ahead.
I only had 2 hours sleep today. And I still showed up for this show.
What special, the dynasty, the Lakers, I can remember that stuff. Of course, you can tell I'm old, and I saw the Bulls playing. A lot of talent came through in the 80s with the Lakers and Boston, and then you Bulls in the 90s, man. I mean, those guys were just, it was born in them. They just knew it was born in them. They could play it.
That's how he played.
Weight room. Most guys could play with their eyes closed. I bet you most of them could.
That's how Matt Caddell made that catch against Arkansas with his ass closed.
No, I think what we're missing on the basketball team is just guys that are just ultra competitive. If they can learn how to just be ultra competitive and just be competitive in everything and give effort, I think that stuff's contagious. And it definitely rubs off on other players. So hopefully they get it right. I'm saying it in my prayers tonight. So hopefully we can get a W because we haven't seen one in forever. It seems like.
Well, go ahead, Raymond.
Who's going to win? Everybody, give me your prediction. Final two. Have you thought about your final two? I'll just say, give me a final two. Who you think?
Kentucky and Kansas.
I like Arizona.
I'm with Arizona. I like Arizona too.
I'm going to say Gonzaga versus Villanova wins.
So nobody's going to say Kentucky and Kansas. I'm the only one.
Yeah, I mean, I got Arizona win the whole thing. That's about
Well,
You know,
I
I
got
know the
Arizona.
favorites never make it to the finals.
they're
They
good.
always get knocked off. So
I think Gonzaga's gonna get knocked off.
yeah.
that's why Kentucky and Kansas. You wait and see. Kentucky and Auburn is going to get knocked out a lot earlier than people think they are. People
They
are
might
like,
lose.
"Oh, Auburn's for real this year." No,
They got a good squad, but I think they'll get knocked. They'll get knocked
I remember
off.
the days of Chris Porter and everybody thought they were awesome, and no, they're gonna get knocked out early. You wait and see. Call your bookie right now.
They may fool you. You don't ever know. They have played good.
They do fool me. They fool me every season when they say they have a football team. And then
So obviously you're not familiar with Bruce Pearl, are you? About throwing games at the end of the season to get a better draw in the tournament.
We don't
Obviously,
talk
you
about that
haven't watched him much.
We don't talk about him.
Okay, I'm just saying they got a good draw.
Yeah.
Don't
They're a better
disrespect.
team. What y'all think?
Definitely the easiest bracket for sure out of all of them.
Yeah.
Do not disrespect the great Erwin Dudley.
Yeah. That's what makes a difference. The good
Nonsense.
makes the difference. It does.
One last thing I want to say, then I'm out. Erwin, I gotta let you know, brother. I mean, I just went back last night and watched some more of your film. Your body check down low was just, dude, man. I wished our linebackers played football that way. Man, I mean,
I know.
you didn't do nothing illegal. I mean, you just was a rock. Boom! It was awesome. I just got to give you
in the post, man.
Appreciate you, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
He was a legend, man.
Oh yeah.
Matt, you're a legend too, man. Damn.
Listen, my folks from down there, like Greensboro and everything, so I used to hear about Erwin.
Are you folks from Greensboro? Okay.
Yeah, they're from Uniontown, Keith, all that's big. Francis Marion, that's big time basketball back then.
Yeah.
And so whoever was really talented back then, you would hear about RC Max, Erwin Dudley, and I was like, man,
Matt,
so
he's
a legend.
Matt, we were hearing about you back in high school too, man.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I couldn't do it on the court like that, man. I couldn't do it like
well, that's why you was a football player.
Hey, look, hey, Matt, you talk about our basketball team, boy. But our football team was the opposite, boy.
Oh man,
boy, we set a record. We set a record
yeah,
for a number of losses, like 85 in a row or something like that.
Yeah.
Before you go, my first bowl game. My very first bowl game, I've been meaning to ask you this, and I know we're running out of time. I got to ask you, though. The Music City Bowl, 2006.
Yeah, Minnesota.
What the hell happened? I know you had that third-string quarterback, Pennington.
But listen, so we were like, oh, man, we're going to beat these guys.
Yes.
Because, you're coming out the SEC, you like Minnesota. Minnesota was so good. They had the biggest cornbread offensive lineman I've ever seen. Like,
That's
huge
true. That is true.
guys. But listen, they had no Sean Maroney and Rondé Barber. They literally ran. They could not throw the ball. They ran like the same play every play. It was like Barber left, Maroney right. They ran like two running plays the whole game, and we could not stop it. And I was like, this is when I knew, like, Big Ten had those real big country offensive linemen that are, like, really good and can block. I was like, man. But they were just physical. More physical. I think we overlooked them.
That just shows you about throwing, these players out there, like Pennington, out into the wolves. Because Pennington, I mean, I don't got nothing against Pennington. It's just that he loved to pass to the other team, and I was like, dude, at least try to run away from the tackle, throw the ball away, don't throw it, don't throw. He just do it.
We had some tough years, man. We had some tough years.
Oh yeah.
But Pennington I used to just. But anyway, Pennington, if you watching, I doubt it.
I've seen Spence make some nice throws.
Yeah, out in the yard. But anyway,
Man, you're cold-blooded, bro. You're cold-blooded.
I was at that game, and it was my first bowl game, and I was like, God, I wanted to see y'all win so bad. That's the fan in me, though. But look, I love both of you guys, Matt. Every time I need you to come on, you're always there for me, man. And if we went,
Dudley, please come on back.
Yes,
please come on back. I got some real questions for you.
Dudley, I want to hear him more. He giving good analysis.
I want to tell you something. Every time I need Matt Caddell's never told me no. I appreciate him so much.
Yes.
Erwin, we had you on the Bama Stand at one time. You're a legend. We thank you so much. We hope you come back. At least
I will, man. I appreciate it. I enjoy
college basketball. But ladies and gentlemen, this is two of the best that Alabama ever produced. And we'll catch y'all next time, okay?
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Y'all take care.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just tell y'all right now, if I ever do another show with 2 hours sleep, I'm not doing it. My jokes didn't produce. Y'all can at least, y'all can at least be like good co-hosts and be like,
do jumping jacks.
Something. Gotta get the blood flowing. That energy level was not there.
Y'all can at least like laugh. There were jokes, and y'all like, nope.
No, they were bad, dude. They were bad. I just some things I can't laugh at.
Like bad jokes.
Or saying that you was happy Georgia won, stuff like that. I just can't
happy
laugh
Georgia
at.
won. I was happy Georgia won a national championship. I wasn't.
Georgia who?
I was happy. Clemson.
Thank you, Waylon.
I was happy that Clemson won a national championship.
I on with that. I love.
Don't be greedy. That's like y'all like the freaking guy who gets all the girls and won't share a phone number. How many national championships do y'all want? I was cheering for Alabama, but after they lost, I'm not. Now, if it was like to Auburn, I'd be like, man, hell with college football. But Dabo Swinney, former wide receiver for Alabama, got freaking Kirby Smart, won national championships as a defensive coordinator for Alabama. Georgia fans deserved a national championship. I hated that it was against us, but when it happened, I was like, you know what? Good for the Georgia fans. Good for Kirby Smart. I'm not that type of fan. Look, if it's not Florida, if it's not Auburn, it's all good. I don't care.
How big is that fence around your trailer?
Yeah.
Just curious. You've been riding the hell out of it.
What's...
Ladies and gentlemen, before we go.
No wonder Stingray stays mad at you.
Before we go, just a reminder, Tuesday, we got Jordan Leggett from Clemson and Bo Scarborough from Alabama. We're going to talk about the Clemson-Alabama rivalry. I'm going to let you pick the questions, fans. You get to pick the questions. Tell me what you want to talk about. What do you want to ask Jordan? What do you want to ask Bo? What went on in the locker room? What went on during the season? Bo, when you broke your leg, do you still think Alabama had a chance? You ask the questions. We will ask them for you. Ladies and gentlemen, and also don't forget Title 100, the Stingray Show. Stingray, Heath Hopkins, they're going crazy. Number one show at Title 100 already. They're taking over, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not listening to this show, I don't know what you're listening to. So go ahead, Title 100.9. If you can't get it in your area, download the app. These guys are taking over the radio. Spencer Raylan, did you have fun tonight?
Yes, sir.
Because I know I didn't.
Always.
It's always an honor to be seen around Waylon, much less be able to talk to him.
Oh,
yes, Waylon is the biggest player of all players.
But then we give special thanks out to William Bryant and Roll Tide and Rise Up Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for your comments. Next time, ask some questions, though. Bring it to us.
Yeah, stop. Yeah, please stop chatting with each other in the comment section. Ask us questions. Y'all sitting there talking to each other like y'all on a dating app.
Y'all done a good job, William and Roll Tide.
Yes.
Y'all done a good job.
I better shut up, and then I pour another New Jack, and they all hate me.
Be careful.
Yeah.
New Jack, if you're watching, I love you, man. I know you're watching. I love you, man. I love you like a fat kid loves cake and ice cream with sprinklers and Reese's Pieces cups and syrup, maple syrup, and caramel syrup. That's how much I love you. Once again, tune in Tuesday. Bo Scarborough, Jordan Leggett, Clemson football, Alabama football, Clemson Tom's return, Stingray, myself, and maybe even Justin Rowley coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the Rolling with a Tide. It was my worst show ever, but you know what? I made it through it, and now I'm going to work. Waylon, Spencer, we are out.
See ya.